Holy ground, the laws of sacrifice and holiness, Leviticus and the shadow of Christ. In the stillness of the desert wilderness, at the foot of Mount Sinai, God spoke, not from thunder this time, but from the tent of meeting. Speak to the people of Israel, he said to Moses, and say to them, when anyone brings an offering to the Lord. And so begins the book of Leviticus, 27 chapters, not of conquest or miracles, but of holiness, sacrifice, and sacred instruction. A book too often skipped, yet so profoundly central to understanding God's heart and the cross of Christ. Leviticus is not just a list of rules, it's a glimpse into the holiness of God. It's the moment when the Most High dwells in the midst of his people. And to live near a holy God, that demands reverence, atonement, cleansing. The first 7 chapters lay out a language of worship. Burnt offerings, grain offerings, peace offerings, sin and guilt offerings. Each one with detailed instruction, not to burden, but to teach. Each one a shadow of the greater sacrifice to come. The blood of bulls and goats, spilled not for cruelty, but for mercy, was a sign, a picture. That's in separates. That atonement costs something. And that one day, a perfect lamb would come. The priests, sons of Aaron, were called to mediate, set apart, clothed in holy garments. But they, too, were frail. We remember Nadab and Abihu, who offered unauthorized fire before the Lord and fell dead. God's holiness is not a metaphor. It's real. It burns. Leviticus shows us a God who longs to dwell with his people, but not at the cost of his justice. So, he teaches them to live differently. Chapters 11 through 20 walk through holiness in daily life. What they eat, how they treat each other, what is pure and what is not. The phrase echoes like a heartbeat. Be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. And when we hear that, don't we also feel it? Our own uncleanness, our own need for something more than rituals, something to change us. And then, Leviticus 16. The Day of Atonement. Once a year, the high priest entered the most holy place, alone, trembling. He carried the blood and the prayers of a nation. 2 goats, one sacrificed, the other, the scapegoat, sent into the wilderness, bearing the sins of the people. Do you see him yet? Jesus, our great high priest. Jesus, the perfect sacrifice. Jesus, the scapegoat, led outside the city, bearing our shame. From chapter 17 onward, Leviticus continues to shape a holy nation. How to live with justice. How to care for the poor. How to honor life, marriage, family, and worship. It ends, chapter 27, with a call to dedication, a vow, a life not partially devoted, but fully given to God. From Genesis to Revelation, the Bible tells one story. In Genesis, we meet the Creator and the promise of a Savior. In Exodus, we see deliverance through the blood of the Lamb. And here in Leviticus, we see how that Lamb covers sin. Every law, every sacrifice, every thread in this ancient tapestry points to Jesus Christ, our fulfillment, our holiness, our peace. As Paul would later write, these are a shadow of the things to come, but the substance belongs to Christ. Colossians 2 verse 17. So why does Leviticus matter to us? Because we, too, were once unclean. We, too, needed a way back into God's presence. And now through Christ's blood we are called holy. Not by rituals, not by striving, but by grace. The fire still burns not to consume us, but to purify. The tent is now a cross. The priest is our Savior. And the sacrifice? Finished. So come near. Behold the holiness of God, and the mercy that made a way.